We'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
This morning on World News Now, the presidential candidates taking their messages to must-win Pennsylvania. How former President Trump's town hall turned into an impromptu concert.
After weeks of misinformation about FEMA's response to recent hurricanes, a man has been arrested for allegedly threatening FEMA workers. Threats like this forcing the agency to shift how it's responding to the disaster.
It's the first snow of the season for some, as millions also wake up to the first frost.
Plus, meet the golden retriever stealing the show as a member of a marching band.
In the Skinny,
with great vengeance and furious anger,
Samuel L. Jackson on Pulp Fiction turning 30 plus.
Hey Jude.
The new film about the Beatles from one of Hollywood's biggest names. It's Tuesday, October 15th.
From ABC News, this is World News Now.
Good Tuesday morning, everyone. Andrew Dimbert and Rhiannon Alley. You know, last night was not just a sports equinox, but it was a New York equinox. Every single professional New York team, as far as I could tell, won last night. The Yankees, Mets, Rangers, Islanders. And yes, the Jets lost, but they play in New Jersey, so technically the only New York football team, the Bills, they won.
Very good point. It was
Danny's happy,
quite
I'm
the
happy.
night.
You're
Everyone's
happy.
happy.
Well.
We are marching on toward that Subway Series. I don't think the rest of the country is as excited as New York City is, but
Yes.
we'll see what happens. There's still a lot of baseball to be played.
Danny and I are very excited.
So you'll root for the Yankees and he'll root for the Mets. I'm rooting for the Yankees as well, but that's going to be a dust divided.
Very nice. Yes, it will be.
Fun,
All right.
if it happens.
That's right. And we'll have all those stories and more coming up. But first this morning, we do want to begin with Pennsylvania taking center stage on the road to the White House.
Yeah, Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Trump made stops at opposite ends of the state, battling it out for its crucial 19 electoral votes. Harris rolled out a new tactic, playing a clip of Trump to use his own words against him.
And Trump's town hall took a strange twist. ABC's Lionel Moise has the latest.
This morning, focus on Pennsylvania. Both candidates rallying voters in the Keystone State last night. Former President Trump's town hall interrupted by two medical emergencies. One attendee placed on a stretcher, apparently overcome by the heat. Moments later, a second person rushed out.
Would anybody else like to faint?
The crowd singing God Bless America before Trump made this request.
If they could play Ave Maria.
He needs their votes. He'll try and get them any way he can, whether he's playing DJ or promising, as he did once again, to get very tough on immigration, to reduce inflation, and to beat Kamala Harris.
Trump was on stage for nearly 45 minutes, music playing as the crowd slowly dispersed.
Let's make it into our music. Who the hell wants to hear questions, right? Isn't that beautiful?
Here we go, everybody.
Earlier, Trump, discussing the economy, promised, if elected, to reduce energy costs by 50% in 1 year. Vice President Harris, at a rally in Erie, attacked Trump by playing video of his recent statements.
The worst people are the enemies from within.
Claiming Trump is increasingly unstable and unhinged.
He's talking about that he considers anyone who doesn't support him or who will not bend to his will an enemy of our country.
Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance, says Trump's comment was about undocumented immigrants.
The enemy within are people that Kamala Harris let into this country unvetted, unchecked, and undocumented.
Former President Clinton, when stumping for Harris in Georgia, appeared to blame the Biden administration for not vetting the undocumented immigrant accused of killing Georgia nursing student Laken Riley.
If they'd all been properly vetted, that probably wouldn't have happened.
The Harris campaign responding, saying the bipartisan border security bill, which former President Trump opposed, would help with that vetting process. Meanwhile, Harris making a new appeal to black men. A new poll finds while she leads among likely black voters, Trump has seen a 6-point increase in support since the last election. Harris rolling out a plan that includes forgivable loans for black entrepreneurs, investments in black male teachers, and legalizing recreational marijuana nationwide.
Not only are you directly dealing with the injustices and the legal and procedural barriers that have been focused on black folks, but by eliminating those barriers, everyone actually benefits. Right.
And now Harris agreeing for the first time to sit down with Fox News in an interview airing tomorrow night.
It's actually kind of a stark reminder that we're not really seeing Donald Trump do very many interviews. It's been about a month now since he did a mainstream media interview, and we got to wonder why.
Reuters reports Harris is also considering an interview with podcaster Joe Rogan, who has a large following among young men. And polls show the gender gap widening in this race, but the overall momentum is swinging towards Trump. USA Today says its survey of betting houses shows for the first time since last month's debate, Trump is the odds-on favorite to win.
Interesting, with 3 weeks to go until the election.
Exactly 3 weeks.
Can you believe it? Right around the corner. Lionel, thank you.
Thank you, Lionel.
A man in North Carolina is charged with threatening to harm FEMA officials working on hurricane recovery efforts. 44-year-old William Parsons was arrested over the weekend while armed with a rifle and a handgun after candidates like Donald Trump spread false claims about the storm response leading to threats. FEMA relocated its workers to secure centers instead of having them go door to door in devastated communities. Meanwhile, in Florida, floodwater left behind by Hurricane Milton is showing few signs of receding. ABC's Victor Oquendo is near Tampa.
This is what the Silver Oaks neighborhood in Zephyrhills, Florida looks like 5 days after Milton hit. It is under waist-deep water. Residents tell me some 50 homes have been impacted. That family there, they're removing what they can from their flooded home, and this water hasn't receded at all.
Victor, thanks. Crews from numerous states are working to restore power. Overnight, it was still out for about 200,000 Florida homes and businesses.
And new details this morning on the decision by the U.S. to send an advanced anti-missile system to Israel, along with 100 American troops to operate it to protect against airstrikes from Iran. A U.S. official tells ABC News that some Biden administration officials oppose the move, believing it raises the odds of escalation. As our Matt Gutman reports, Israel continued to trade fire with Hezbollah in Lebanon while launching another deadly strike in Gaza.
Gaza ceasefire talks have been frozen since August, and at this point, Israel does not seem to be in a hurry to counterpunch Iran. We're told that it could be at least until the end of the week before that U.S. anti-missile battery and its 100 troops are operational, and an Israeli retaliation against Iran is unlikely to happen before that.
Thanks to Matt Gutman there. The deployment comes after Hezbollah pierced Israel's air defenses with an attack on an Israeli army base, killing 4 soldiers.
More areas are seeing their first snows of the year. This was in upstate New York yesterday. More is expected there today, and millions from the plains to the northeast could be waking up to some frozen pumpkins this morning. Freeze warnings and watches in effect from Oklahoma to the Dakotas and in the northeast. And yes, it's going to get colder, Rhiannon.
I just hope it doesn't get any colder in our studio. It's freezing in here right now. Well, that fall weather, it's suitable for playoff baseball. I mean, it is October after all. Okay, in L.A., though, it was still warm and sunny because it is L.A. It was Game 2 between the Mets and the Dodgers. What a game.
In the 5th, the Dodgers were coming off the field. And get this, there was a snake slithering on a dugout step. A grounds crew member grabbed it in a towel and carried it off.
Nah, they're not calling it the rally snake in L.A., though. Can you imagine? The Dodgers lost to the Mets 7-3.
In the American League, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce were at Yankee Stadium for Game 1 between the Cleveland Guardians and the Yankees. Kelce, he grew up in Ohio.
Oh, that's right. And they watched the Yankees win. They scored 3 in the 3rd. They went on to win it 5-2. So now they're taking their love beyond the football field to the baseball stadium.
Yes, they are. Does he go to practice, Travis? Because we're in the middle of a season.
Well, it's a bye. It was a bye week, so they
true.
probably had a few days off. Let's give him a little bit of. Then if he has a bad game, this is what we're going to remember.
I like how they chose to go to the Yankee game and not the Jets game. All right, coming up, the rising star in a college marching band that just so happens to walk on 4 paws.
Plus, there is a new development in the case of the Menendez brothers, who were serving life sentences for killing their parents back in 1989. We'll tell you what their attorneys and some of their family members are now planning.
And later in the Skinny, see who's about to shine a new light on Neil Diamond. You're watching World News Now.
Oh, look at this. A fallen tree is blamed for a New Jersey train operator's death. Officials say it tumbled onto the tracks near Trenton early Monday. A light rail train hit the tree, killing the operator and injuring 23 passengers. Service in the area was suspended, and an investigation is now underway.
There's a second arrest in a deadly home invasion in a Detroit suburb. 72-year-old Hussein Murray was killed on Friday, then his wife was tied up. The suspects pretended to be utility workers checking on a gas leak at Murray's home in Rochester Hills. One was captured Saturday in Louisiana. The second was caught Monday, about 25 miles from the scene. Murray owned a jewelry store and a pawn shop. Detectives believe the suspects followed him home.
Attorneys for brothers Lyle and Eric Menendez are holding a news conference tomorrow to push for their resentencing. The pair is serving life in prison for the 1989 murders of both of their parents. The Los Angeles County District Attorney is reviewing new evidence that could lead to the brothers being released. The case has regained prominence due to a Netflix show about the killings. The next hearing in the case is next month. Family members will be there as well.
A Cleveland suburb was the site of an unusual police encounter. Check out this video from Bay Village, Ohio. Okay, an officer responding to a call about a runaway pumpkin early Monday. We all got our Halloween decorations up, but then this happens. The inflatable gourd was 15 feet tall, and the officer was swallowed up for a moment. He escaped unharmed. And the pumpkin, by the way, was, there it is. He returned the pumpkin, Rhiannon, back to the homeowner instead of, I don't know, just slicing that thing open to get out of there is probably what I would have done.
Wow.
Runaway pumpkins.
It's that time of year.
It very much is.
That's not a Charlie Brown pumpkin right there.
No, it is not.
When we come back, the Thanksgiving treat for Beatles fans.
And how Samuel L. Jackson just showed the world he's still a righteous man. The Skinny is next.
Hey Jude, don't make it bad. Take a sad song and make it better.
It is time for the Skinny as we start with some exciting news for fans of the Beatles.
And we happen to have a Beatles super fan right here. It's not me, it's Danny.
Hey, it's me, Paul. I wrote a song.
Is this the best Beatles song? Hey Jude?
No.
No?
But people seem to like it. But I'm not a good song. I'm sorry. It's one of the overplayed ones. I like the deep cuts. Give me I'm Only Sleeping. Anyway, the British invasion happened just a few years before my time, but the watershed moment was really when they arrived here in February of 1964 aboard a Pan Am flight at JFK.
Yeah, now that trip to America is set to be chronicled in a new documentary by Martin Scorsese.
Let's go.
Featuring never-before-seen footage of the band.
Titled Beatles 64, the film will be released on our parent company's Disney Plus on Black Friday, guys. Mark your calendars, November 29th.
That is fantastic.
Danny, you're gonna watch?
Of course. I mean, we had the Get Back documentary that also came out on Black Friday. So I guess like Thanksgiving week is just Beatles documentary week.
It's just a big week period. I mean, we've got
We're
Wicked
home.
coming out. We've got, I mean,
football, obviously.
Exactly. It's just one of those weeks.
All right, next to a brand new big screen tribute to Neil Diamond.
Coming to America. The Jewish Elvis.
Is that what they call him?
Sometimes.
Oh, okay. By the time his hit I Am, I Said was released in 1971, he was already pretty much firmly established as a solo artist, but it was just a year later he released his smash song, what is the song called? Song Sung Blue?
Yeah.
Is that the name of it?
I don't know that song.
Oh, so you're not a Neil Diamond
well, his
super
first
fan?
big hit is Solitary Man, so I don't know the song. I'm sorry.
Well, that song is the inspiration for a new musical film.
Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson are set to star in Song Sung Blue, about a married couple who form a Neil Diamond tribute band.
I don't know that song. How do I not realize
from
that song?
Wolverine to tribute band movie.
Neil Jackman can do it all. He can.
Including teach us a Neil Diamond song we didn't know and now feel guilty about. I'm sorry. I thought I was a real Jewish Elvis fan. Okay, next to a Hollywood milestone for our Tarantino heads.
Pulp Fiction was a cinematic innovation when it was released. Starring Samuel L. Jackson, of course, Uma Thurman, John Travolta. What a cast! And yes, Bruce Willis. It just turned 30 years old.
And now Samuel L. Jackson is showing he's still a righteous man, reciting that same Bible verse that he did as the menacing Jules.
The path of the righteous man is set on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who in the name of charity and goodwill shepherds weak through the valley of darkness, for he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. You will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee.
He captioned the video, "You know I still got it," and what's in your wallet?
Good one.
Blessed is he who in the name of shepherds.
Bright lights are shining from coast to coast this football season, but one university is shining one very special ray of light on a member of its marching band.
And she's quickly becoming a star in her own right, and Danny's going to tell us about it.
Yes, we know it's World Student Day, so I wanted to highlight two new members of the University of Northern Iowa's Panther Marching Band. One is a sophomore percussionist who just transferred there, and the other is her very helpful and very adorable golden retriever.
The University of Northern Iowa's marching band has about 250 members. But it's hard not to fall in love with one in particular.
Is Winnie one of the more popular ones now in the marching band?
Oh, definitely.
The most popular by far, yes.
This season, the Panthers welcomed sophomore Gabby Reason and her incredibly well-behaved pal, Winnie.
We're never apart.
During her senior year of high school, Gabby was diagnosed with a chronic condition called POTS, which was impacting her heart rate whenever she stood up.
I couldn't even stand for 55 days without passing out.
After finding the right treatment, Gabby adopted Winnie at just 2 months old and trained her to be her service animal. With her special dog powers, Winnie can actually let Gabby know when her heart rate is getting a little too high.
Winnie will typically give me a warning before I pass out so I can get in a safe position.
However, when Gabby arrived at a different college her freshman year, this lifelong percussionist was told she could not participate in any of the school's band-related activities because of her service animal.
It was kind of sad that the thing that helps me was a reason that I couldn't do something that I was passionate about.
And she really missed performing. So Gabby reached out to marching band director Justin Mertz, and he was like, hey, as long as Winnie's cool with loud music, yes, please, on the golden retriever.
When I read that in her email, my heart just absolutely broke right away. Next thing you know, there's a dog on the field.
A few games in, Winnie is now a big part of the team and has even bonded with the mascots. But most importantly of all, Gabby is feeling healthy and welcome, finally able to do what she loves with a dog she really loves.
It passed my expectations. I'm really happy to be here.
When Winnie has the vest on, obviously she's in work mode, but they said it's not uncommon after practice to find Winnie lying on her back in the middle of the football field, waiting for someone to come rub her belly. Should we fly to Iowa?
Yes, for a belly rub, I'm on it. Look at that. She's got a little uniform on.
And how about her serving as a mascot, more or less, with the word win in her name? Winnie.
True.
Win on the football.
Helping them win.
They lost to
Good
Nebraska.
girl.
More news next. Stay with us. This morning on World News Now, where the presidential race stands exactly 3 weeks until Election Day.
The candidates taking their messages to must-win Pennsylvania. How former President Trump's town hall turned into an impromptu concert.
Also this morning, after weeks of misinformation about FEMA's response to recent hurricanes, a man has been arrested for allegedly threatening FEMA workers.
Plus, the major retailer pulling a candle after some people had problems with the packaging.
And they're cute, cuddly, and they're coming to America. The pandas expected any time now in the nation's capital. It's Tuesday, October 15th.
From ABC News, this is World News Now.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on this Tuesday. How is it possible I still have never seen a panda in person?
I
Have
haven't
you?
either, no.
How is that possible?
And yet we have adorable panda videos here on World News Now all the time.
Forget cat videos. I could watch panda videos all day long. They just play and roll around, and they're just adorable. We will tell you more on the panda bears coming to the U.S. coming up in just a few minutes. We want to begin this morning, though, with the candidates descending on must-win Pennsylvania, with the election now just 3 weeks away from today.
Vice President Kamala Harris rallied supporters in the northwest corner of the state, while former President Trump was on the opposite end, holding a town hall in suburban Philadelphia. But things took a turn after medical emergencies in the audience gave way to a listening party featuring Trump's favorite songs. ABC's Terry Moran was there.
At this town hall outside Philadelphia, President Trump, former President Trump, telling the voters here, we win in Pennsylvania, we're winning the whole thing. He answered a few questions, telling people that he would reduce energy costs in this country by 50% in the first year. He also went after his opponent, Governor Kristi Noem, called Kamala Harris stupid, and Trump agreed, as he has before.
She is not a smart woman, that's true. And we've had that for 4 years. We're not going to have it for another 4 years.
But at the end of the day, this has really been a mood more than a rally. Answering the questions, a couple of people fainted, fell out, and that changed everything here. Trump started calling for various songs, Ave Maria, now James Brown and Luciano Pavarotti.
Let's not do any more questions. Let's just listen to music. Let's make it into a music. Who the hell wants to hear questions, right? Isn't that beautiful, though?
And the crowd really, as they do with him, following him all the way. He needs their votes. He'll try and get them any way he can, whether he's playing DJ or promising, as he did once again, to get very tough on immigration, to reduce inflation, and to beat Kamala Harris.
Terry Moran, thank you. The vice president spent the entire day in Erie ramping up her outreach to black voters, especially men.
So she promoted a new plan to give black men more economic opportunities, including offering fully forgivable loans to black business owners. At a rally last night, Harris blasted Trump over his comments about the enemy from within. She showed a video of Trump's remarks, calling him increasingly unstable and unhinged.
He's talking about that he considers anyone who doesn't support him or who will not bend to his will an enemy of our country.
For the first time, Harris has agreed to sit for an interview with Fox News. That will air tomorrow night. She's also reportedly considering an interview with podcaster Joe Rogan.
3 weeks from Election Day, and Wall Street is on a winning streak. The Dow opens this morning at another record high, along with the S&P 500. Stocks have been up for 5 straight weeks now. The Dow's 201-point gain yesterday helped it close above 43,000 for the first time ever. Overnight, stock futures indicated a mostly higher open.
Well, water service is starting to return to Asheville, North Carolina, which was devastated by Hurricane Helene. While that is definitely progress, residents are still being told to boil any water that's meant for consumption for at least a full minute. Meanwhile, FEMA workers helping with the recovery have been moved indoors and amid ongoing threats and even an arrest. ABC's Victor Akendo reports.
After weeks of misinformation about FEMA's response to recent hurricanes, a man arrested for allegedly threatening FEMA workers in North Carolina. Threats like this forcing the agency to shift how it's responding to the disaster. Authorities arresting 44-year-old William Parsons this weekend, accusing him of threatening FEMA workers, saying he was in possession of a handgun and rifle at the time of the arrest. After multiple threats, FEMA temporarily relocated workers to secured centers and paused door-to-door visits in communities decimated by Hurricane Helene, but saying normal operations have resumed. President Biden has railed against former President Trump for spreading lies about the FEMA response to the storms, suggesting there could be a political price for those lies.
I think those who have been spreading these lies to try to undermine the opposition are going to pay a price for it.
And here in Florida, authorities warning residents about the dangers that could be lurking in the floodwaters, including alligators and snakes. A family finding this gator in their garage. Power outages, long gas lines, and lingering flooding hampering the response to Hurricane Milton.
This is what the Silver Oaks neighborhood in Zephyrhills, Florida looks like 5 days after Milton hit. It is under waist-deep water. Residents tell me some 50 homes have been impacted. That family there, they're removing what they can from their flooded home, and this water hasn't receded at all.
The Curtis family now salvaging their prized possessions from their dream home by boat.
What has this been like for you?
Just devastating. Devastating.
Looking back at your home.
Yeah. Devastating. So trying to salvage what we can. Cherished memories from years ago. Our entire life.
Crews like this one are racing to restore power to the region. Most utility companies hoping to have everyone back online by the end of the week.
All right, Victor, thank you. We're watching the tropics where two systems are brewing. One is given a 60% chance of developing once it moves closer to the Caribbean. It could affect Puerto Rico this coming weekend. The second is given a 20% chance. For now, it's in the Western Caribbean.
Ethel Kennedy, the matriarch of the Kennedy family, has been laid to rest following a private funeral on Cape Cod. Kennedy was married to Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and she founded a human rights center in his name after he was assassinated. She died last week following a stroke at the age of 96. Kennedy is survived by 9 of her 11 children, including RFK Jr.
Turning to sports now, it was a busy Monday for New York teams. The Mets and Yankees in baseball playoffs, the Jets hosting the Bills on Monday Night Football. It was the Jets' first game with interim head coach Jeff Ehrlich in charge. Robert Saleh got the boot.
At the end of the first half, Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers put up Hail Mary, and his old Packers teammate Alan Lazard came down with it. The Jets down by 3.5.
Seen him do this so many times in Green Bay, and now he's doing it in New Jersey, but still down by 3 late in the fourth. Rodgers going long again, this time, though, intercepted. The Bills ran out the clock from there. That was the game. They win it 23-20. The Jets now have a losing record, an interim head coach, and a tough schedule ahead.
It has been a rough season for them so far.
It's been a whole rough experience for Rodgers since he got to New York. He was injured last year, 4 plays in the first game of the season.
Yeah.
This season now
Still
starting.
a lot of football to play, though.
A lot of football,
The
that's
season is
true.
still early, so we got time. They got time. Coming up, the new restaurant that's all about Doritos.
Plus, the new misconduct claims against Sean Diddy Combs, including a man who says he was 16 at the time of the assault.
And the pandemonium playing out in the nation's capital. You're watching World News Now.
Welcome back. Jury selection continues today in the Delphi murders trial. 14 jurors, including 2 alternates, were seated Monday on day 1. 2 more alternates will fill out the panel to hear the case against Richard Allen. He's accused of kidnapping and killing teenagers Libby German and Abby Williams in 2017. Prosecutors say Allen has confessed to murdering the girls.
2 weeks ago, a Houston attorney warned that more than 100 accusers were about to come forward with sexual misconduct accusations against music producer Sean Diddy Combs. On Monday, some of those claims went public, and they range from alleged attacks at parties to one in a department store. Here's ABC's Aaron Katursky.
Disturbing new claims against hip-hop mogul Sean Combs. In new civil lawsuits, he's now accused of sexually assaulting 6 more people, including a man who says he was 16 at the time of the alleged assault.
People have inundated our office with reports of times that they were with P. Diddy. It's been extraordinary, just the sheer numbers of people that have reported.
The new civil lawsuits, all filed by anonymous accusers, allege attacks between 1995 and 2021, including at a department store stockroom, inside an event space bathroom, and at Combs' famous white parties in the Hamptons, where a then 16-year-old looking to break into the music industry says Combs took this picture with him in 1998 before things took an unexpected turn for the worst. Combs allegedly demanded that he needed to drop his pants and then molested him, asking, "Don't you want to break into the business?" Lawyers for Combs did not immediately respond, but have previously said he cannot address every meritless allegation in what has become a reckless media circus. Combs now faces at least 18 civil lawsuits alleging sexual assault and has pleaded not guilty to criminal charges, including sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy. The plaintiff's attorneys tell us these are the first of what could be scores of lawsuits alleging abhorrent conduct that they say is shockingly typical of Sean Combs. Aaron Katursky, ABC News, New York.
All right, Aaron, thank you. Bath & Body Works is apologizing for a controversial candle design. The company is working to remove the item called Snowed In amid claims by some online critics, that is, and its design looks like Ku Klux Klan hoods. It's supposed to represent a paper snowflake. Bath & Body Works says the images were unintentional.
A first-of-its-kind eatery is sharing the home of the Los Angeles Lakers and Kings. Fans entering Crypto.com Arena can grab a bite at Doritos After Dark. It's a restaurant. It's named for the crunchy snack. It is described as a new, bold culinary experience. Look at this. Do you see the offerings we have here? Veggie dumplings, margaritas, ice cream, but they all, of course, have a Doritos twist. Would you want a Doritos ice cream? Or a Dorito
honestly,
dumpling?
My only question is, what took so long? This is a great idea.
There's a chip in the margarita.
If they can turn a Doritos into a taco.
Okay, I
You
would eat
know?
that. I
And that
could eat
worked.
that. I don't know about a Dorito.
Gotta try it. I don't know about the ice cream. The dumpling looks pretty good.
The margarita does not. A chip in your margarita.
Okay, coming up, the highly anticipated arrival of 2 pandas to the nation's capital.
It's still better than a lot of the things they have us try here.
That's very
right?
true.
Later, the new line of clogs for dogs. Andrew, you could have some matching furry friends here soon. Look at that. You're watching World News Now. Coming to America, a couple of highly anticipated guests from China.
And so many fans have been counting down the days since the announcement of their arrival. Right, Danny?
Yeah, well, we told you when the announcement first broke, that was in May, that the pandas would finally be returning to the nation's capital at some point this year. But according to the Smithsonian National Zoo, that day has finally arrived, with still plenty of mystery attached.
2 months after the San Diego Zoo received the country's first pandas in over 2 decades, the one that started it all will also get to continue its storied relationship with the world's cutest form of diplomacy. On Monday, the Smithsonian National Zoo, which started this exchange program with China in 1972, posted on social media that something, quote, giant was coming today via the FedEx Panda Express. In fact, they also stated that they would need to shut down the zoo as they welcome their new guests, Bao Li and Qing Bao.
Join us. It's official.
The news of any return at all was first announced back in May with the help of First Lady Dr. Jill Biden. That ended 6 months of unrest when the zoo's contract with the Chinese government expired.
The pandas are coming back!
And you know, in the past half-century, the pandas at the National Zoo have become integral to DC's culture. Check out this local bakery that sells panda cake pops and cookies.
We are super, super excited. And honestly, we never gave up faith.
And these new pandas will be a little familiar since Bao Li's mother, Bao Bao, was born in Washington. And then First Lady Michelle Obama was present at the naming reveal of Bao Bao's brother, Bei Bei. Now, after months of anticipation, it appears that the wait is finally over once these beloved global ambassadors enter a quarantine for at least 30 days. However, our affiliate WJLA noted that there appeared to be new features in their enclosure, such as new hangout spots and even more cameras. Yay, more cute panda video!
When the first pandas came in 1972, First Lady Pat Nixon played a key role in their arrival, so this has always been a cause championed by our First Ladies. Very exciting that we once again get to have pandas back.
I know. I'm going to plan a trip with the kids down to see them, I think, since I've never seen pandas in person.
I don't think I have either.
Well, I was told we were going to go down there, but I guess we got bamboozled.
Oh, don't bamboozle, Andrew. Please send us down.
Bamboo.
Will there be more puns
They eat
where that came from?
Come on, Andrew, give us another one.
They also eat cornbread, carrots, and, you know, water and medicine. So those are my fun facts about pandas. That's all I've got.
And they like to climb these two.
Oh,
so
of
we'll
course,
get to watch
right?
them play around.
And fall.
Yes.
You ever see a panda fall off some
rolling
some
around
bamboo?
is the best.
Yeah.
They're so cute. Oh, look at that. That one has kind of sad eyes.
Let me hug you.
We are back now with the mix, and we are starting with the Great Pumpkin.
But this one has nothing to do with Charlie Brown.
A Minnesota horticulture teacher has won for the 4th year in a row the annual World Championship Pumpkin way off in Half Moon Bay, south of San Fran. We actually brought you the story last year when I interviewed him. His name's Travis, because he had this pumpkin last year that won named Michael Jordan.
Oh, that's right.
Do you remember that?
So the gourd this year fell short of the world record he set last year when Danny interviewed him, weighing in at 2,471 pounds.
Still, when I saw this pumpkin, I couldn't think, oh my gourd.
Oh, my God.
It took him 35 hours to drive his pumpkin to California. Next stop, Southern California, where it'll be 3D carved for a pretty cool Halloween event.
Ooh, I wonder what they're going to carve it into. Did he tell you, Danny? I know you guys have been chatting.
I'll text him because I would love to know, will it be a Hummer? Or something even bigger.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta be something huge, right?
Tesla Cybertruck?
Yeah, maybe just big enough.
And from the biggest to the smallest, the world's smallest washing machine.
Guinness World Records has confirmed that thing. This device, built by a man in India, showing off his scaled-down engineering skills, is the world's smallest washing machine. It is a cube, barely 1.5 inches.
Wow, and to qualify for the record, he successfully proved that it's fully functional. He had to run a full cycle. That means wash, rinse, and yes, spin. Look at it spinning there.
Coming to a New York City apartment near you pretty soon. Even too small for Barbie to use.
Yes, yes.
Next, this is for Andrew. Coordinating your footwear with your dog's footwear.
Now Andrew just needs a dog because Crocs is now out with a line of clogs just for dogs. It's part of a partnership with a pet supply company as part of Crocs' Croctober campaign. And I have to say, I have actually seen some dogs wearing these.
No kidding.
Yes.
You know, you're really right, Rhiannon. I got to put the cart before the horse. Now I have to get a dog just to put
match your
this
Crocs.
dog in. What are we calling them? Crocs?
Crogs.
Crogs. Now, despite the fact that most dogs don't love wearing anything, especially on their paws, the rollout of the pet Crocs is described by the company as one of the most highly requested products in brand history.
Those dogs look pretty happy.
Beating out those 7-Eleven Crocs, which I always wanted.
You never
They're
got
limited edition, yeah. Oh, well, next time.
The one that got away for Andrew.
Finally, the baby that now has his own special brew.
Aaron and Kyle Baker were on their way to the hospital in Kalamazoo, Michigan, when they realized their baby was on his way. They pulled into a parking lot, which just so happened to be at their favorite microbrewery. So moments later, baby Forrest Wells arrived.
And in honor of the baby's arrival, the microbrewery came up with a special blood orange blonde ale, which the parents came and mixed themselves, and it's called